Bum 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 bum. This is all right. So I recently enjoyed watching The Nightmare Before Christmas with my family. I've always enjoyed that film by Tim Burton, not to the extent to become goth like many of my classmates, but I always had good memories of it. And when I recently watched it with my family, I was surprised to see so many parallels to the real world, and the lessons we could grab from it. The main point of the film is that Jack is trying to be something he isn't. And so he's bored. He doesn't like being in Halloween Town like he used to. And he goes on a walk and he stumbles into the holiday trees. And he goes through Christmas. He goes through the Christmas one and meets these people in Christmas Town, or at least witnesses them. He brings back all these toys and he talks about the experiences he had. And he tries to sell the town on what happened there and how we can do it here, type of thing. And the town is trying their best to understand what Jack is saying. Jack has a lot of influence. He's very trusted, and what he's trying to do seems to be a good thing, at least from what we understand is our perspective is, oh, of course, everyone should be joyful. Everybody should be happy and caring about one another. And Halloween Town's just kind of weird. But the story is really talking about the essence of what things are. And so when you start trying to fit a circle to a square or vice versa, there's going to be problems. And the Halloween Town folk try to understand what Jack is saying, but they can only understand it in light of the nature that is Halloween. That it has to be scary, haunty, shock value, that type of thing. But Jack is trying to push this, even though he doesn't understand what he's exactly pushing. He doesn't know that what he's trying to do is basically undermine Halloween Town while they're trying to approximate Christmas Town. They make a mockery of it, not on purpose. They just the nature of what they are produces that result, and it produces that result in different degrees. So you have Jack trying to act like Santa Claus, and then the townsfolk are acting like the elves, and then they're creating the gifts, and the gifts are basically poison gifts. They're not going to be helpful or enjoyed by anyone. They're going to be dangerous to everyone. And you can see how these towns influence the world by what ends up happening. Jack kidnaps Santa Claus so that the truth isn't out there. He goes to the world. He starts delivering the gifts. The gifts for a while are understood to be from Santa Claus, and things are happy for a little bit. But everything goes terribly wrong because people start reporting to the police all the bad things that are happening. Then it's reported, oh, there's a skeleton impersonating Saint Nick. And so the military gets involved. They shoot Jack down. Jack falls to his death for his nth time. And he's met by his dead dog. And they kind of reflect. Well, I mean, really, Jack reflects, but the dog's there consoling him. Jack's reflecting with the dog, and he's coming to the conclusion that he is really meant for Halloween. He's not meant for Christmas. And that what he did and what he pushed the people to do was wrong. And so we have this dynamic where there's this, basically self-realization. The hero story coming to fruition. The essence of the story is happening before us in this climax where he's coming to terms with himself and saying, we aren't supposed to do this. I'm not supposed to do this. And so he then goes back and saves the day, making sure that Santa Claus is able to get out and do his thing, and that that ends up happening. But there's kind of this weird dynamic that's going on. So you have Jack, who during the course of the movie is really pushing to change the essence of not only who he is, but what the town is. And then you have the zombie woman, and she is trying to get out of a situation where she doesn't feel right. She is pushing her limits, but she's not doing anything contrary to what she is. The purpose that was given to her was by a narcissist who basically, at the end of the movie ends up creating a female version of himself to basically cater to his every need. Whereas the zombie one, I'm missing her name right now, and I'm sorry. She shows that she is pushing the limits of what she can do, given her abilities, given what she is. And so there's this contrast between the two, where Jack is pushing the limits, and it's not succeeding because it's contrary to what his purpose is. And the female zombie is pushing herself to be who she wants to be, that's consistent with the nature of who she is and what she is. That's very important, because at the end they get reconciled. The female zombie pushes past her limit and becomes a fuller version of herself, whereas Jack comes into the reflection that becoming something or trying to act like something he's not is wrong. And there's this reconciliation between the two at the end of the movie where they get together. And it's a very beautiful image, obviously in Tim Burton style, but it really does show a very Catholic understanding of essence. You can't change who you are in particular ways. He made them male and female. You can't really flip that. You can't really go against what you are. Obviously, from a Catholic perspective, we know what we are. We know the definition in that context. And at the end of the day, we're made for heaven. And God gave us certain talents, certain abilities, certain accidents that we're able to push here and there. But the essence of who we are and what we are is there. We don't have the domain to change it. And so from that standpoint, I thought, again, as an adult and comparing it to the society we currently live in, I thought that was a great movie to really emphasize, at the end of the day, what's important as who you are, and showing the contrast between the characters in the way they did it. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video review. I don't usually do these, but I thought this is one of those videos that just really stuck out to me in light of what's going on in society. So I thought I'd just share my thoughts on it. So thank you and have a great day.